with the Donovan Mitchell trade happening 2 weeks ago. With us being one of the deepest and top heavy teams in the East, how would you guys rank the top 6 teams in the East going into the season?
Ouch. Go right on in then, Marcus. I'm a firm believer.
Is East or NBA? You said East,
right?
Okay.
You said East. I'm a firm believer that going into the season, and this kind of lightens my expectations for the Sixers. I believe you got to put the 2 teams that ended the conference up top. They earned their ways to the conference finals, and they were the 2 top teams in the to finish in the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say I will put Boston first and Miami second. Since Milwaukee's won the championship more recently, I'll put them third and us fourth. And that makes our path a little tougher. But
because if not, who you putting there? Who I think you're going to put there?
Yeah, 5. I'm gonna put Cleveland at 5.
Where are you going to put Cleveland at 5? Okay,
yeah, I'm gonna put Cleveland at 5. I'm gonna put Brooklyn at 6.
Yeah, nice way to avoid that.
So we can avoid them or Milwaukee in conference final into the conference finals.
Okay.
And then that'll be my 6.
Wow. The East is kind of stacked because then that means Toronto's gonna be like a 7 or 8 seed, and then I don't know who would be the 8 seed in the
Atlanta, I'd say.
Yeah. Dang.
I mean, we can't say let's pick 6 and not pick 6. I mean, there's only 6. You only got 6 choices.
No, it's true. No, I was when you said those 6, I was like, huh, man, that means Toronto's on the outside looking in, and there'd be a 7 seed.
Somebody's gonna be over there.
Whew. It's a tough man. East is beast again, dude. Even though West won the finals, I think the East is. I mean, they're both going to be really tough conferences, but I think the East is finally back to where it was a long time ago. So it's just cool.
What's your top 6?
So I did a little bit of what Eric was saying. I took the Eastern representative. They got better this offseason too, so it's not like they just stayed the same and whatever. They got Brogdon. Gallinari's gone. They'll probably sign someone else like Carmelo to offset the Gallinari loss. So I got Boston number 1. I have us 2. I think we're top heavy and have depth. Best pick and roll duo in the league, a full offseason with Harden to be in the best shape of his career, develop chemistry. We have a great mix of shooting and dogs. It might be one of the most well-balanced rosters we've had in a very, very long time, actually. I took Bucks 3. I just think with their continuity, they were just champions, 2 years ago, so it wasn't that long ago. They had a lot of injuries last year. So if they are healthy, they're top 3 in the East, and I think they're going to manage minutes a little more this season, not be as worried about their record, and they're going to try to just keep Middleton and Giannis as healthy as possible. 4, I went Nets. Man, their roster's so talented. They just have so many question marks. Man, Warren hasn't played in years. Simmons hasn't played in over a year. Harris hasn't played in basically a year. Their 2 players don't want to be there anymore, and they don't like their coaching and management. Even if you have a lot of talent, that's a lot of obstacles to get over. That's a lot of things. So, yeah, they have the talent of a top team, but that's a lot of red flags. So I'm going to put them at 4. Cavs I have at 5. I think they're just an ascending team, and they can just take another step in their development. They have a great balance, too, with scoring and defense now. If they can just grow up and gel, they're scary, man. They're really, really are scary. And then 6, it came down to Atlanta or Miami for me. I went Miami in the end. Although I think Miami's also going to suffer in standings, because I think they're definitely going to prioritize staying healthy for the playoffs. Seeing Lowry with just 0 juice left in the playoffs, they don't want that to happen again. And they can't rely on Butler to go 40 plus minutes every night and carry the offense again. It's just not going to work. So I think they're going to try to manage minutes this year and keep their guys, their veterans healthy. And then 7 and 8 between Atlanta and Toronto to figure it out. Yep.
I mean, Nets. If we come just on paper, I mean, they should be number one.
Yeah, on paper, yeah.
It's on paper.
Absolutely. I took them down to 4 because of all the stuff they have going on, man.
I put them in 6 because I don't know when guys are going to play.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know. Like, I haven't seen Ben Simmons play basketball.
If they had a Hard Knocks in the NBA, dude, I would pay money to see Brooklyn.
I haven't seen Ben Simmons play.
Yeah. I haven't seen
Warren
play.
I've seen Kyrie play, but do we want to still be there? Like, do KD
No.
truly want to be there? Like,
no.
So if they're professional enough to get by it, I don't know if the locker room will develop the way it needs to be to get there. And it may very well get there at the end of the year, but I do think there's going to be bumps, especially early in the season through the season. That's why I didn't really have them as high as the talent says.
Can they get through those hard times with having as many problems as they do?
We'll find out. I mean, it comes down to the leadership in that locker room. If they can, all come together and that leadership can help and they can buy in and put forth that effort and do it collectively, without a doubt they can do it. They can do it, but it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot of commitment and sacrifice from multiple guys in order for that to happen.
Who do you think side question, going off this, who was the leader on the OKC team back in the day with Westbrook and Harden and Durant? Who do you think the leader of the team was? Was it Harden or Durant or Westbrook?
Out of those three?
Yeah, I think it comes down to probably Westbrook or Durant. Was I one of those two?
I mean, I think I would say Russell. Russ has a sort of his facial expressions kind of puts off a different vibe from people that are watching from the outside. But if you look at his work ethic, we know he play hard. We know he work hard. And you look at his lifestyle off the court.
Yeah, he's basketball number one.
And he's family number one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you haven't heard anything about him and his lifestyle. So you kind of see a guy like that, it's easier to command the locker room when you have that.
Yeah.
So I don't know for certain, but I'm just saying it's easier to command the locker room if you do that. On the other hand, you can be as talented as you want, but if guys see you kicking it or the guys see you not working hard, the last thing they're going to do is listen to you try to tell them what to do, no matter how good you are. But I don't know how particular. All those guys were so young. I think the veterans on their team kind of did it collectively.
Mm-hmm. No, I was just thinking back to all of Durant's teams because he wasn't the leader on Golden State on that team. So,
he wasn't the leader, but he wasn't really a follower either.
No, he was probably
what I'm saying?
Arguably the best player
at that part. Yeah, at that point they were, and that was sort of the opposite of what we're talking about now because that team was so individually driven and individually talented, individually professional. What I need to do that it's not really who's leading the team as much as it is they're able to hold each other accountable to do their jobs because there's so many guys and you've knocked out a lot of the mess.
Golden State was already a well-oiled machine. They just added on like a badass extension to it with Durant, pretty much.
Whereas but if you had issues, that machine can still be messed up. So obviously,
definitely,
the machine was going well, and the extra part that came in was doing well too.
Mm-hmm. But with Brooklyn, it's different because he is a part of the core base of what's being built there, where he wasn't a part of the base that was built in Golden State. He was an extension being added on to it, which can ruin the entire thing.
I mean, I firmly believe with KD there, the way he was playing before he got injured this year was arguably one of the best starts he had in a while. but I think it was that team is different from the standpoint of you really had a team that was just really built around two guys, and then kind of other guys built around them. So I just didn't think they complemented each other a lot. Where this team they have now is deeper and more complementary pieces. They just don't have the time together that, Golden State and all those other teams that have been through the playoffs and been through the ringer and tough highs and lows and have spent all that time together where they can build that cohesive network, where this team hasn't done that. So will it take time, or will their talent help them prevail situations that come up?
Well, it's also a little scary too, because you don't very often see the leader of your team completely not trust coaching or management. So usually the leader is an extension of your coach or the coach on the court. But in this case, there's a blatant disconnect between your best player leader and the coach.
Yeah, I mean, that's very true. I think at the end of the day, if that guy or those guys come back and they're there, it comes down to, like I said before, how professional everybody are going to be moving forward. If they guys can come in and say, hey, this is where we're at and this is how I feel, and then that his actions meets his words, you can get by that. But the actions are going to have to meet the words that are said. And there'll be more, eyes on it because of everything that happened.
Yeah.
So, but if it's done, you can correct it. But guys are going to pay attention. They're going to pay attention to how you behave and what you say and what you do, and not only towards the players, but also towards how the coaches coach.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you've just kind of put more eyes on that situation. That's why I say everything, they have an opportunity if it goes smoothly. It's just a lot of mess, a lot of stuff going on. But if they can get it going, the talent's there.
Because they can undermine everything. If Durant's dogging Nash on the sides, and then Nash wants to go ahead and coach,
that's what I'm saying. So it's like all of that stuff is going to matter. How they come together, and if those, because they're going to say all the right stuff when it starts. Mm-hmm. But the actions got to match those words.
For instance, like AI and Brown had run-ins, right? And they disagreed on a lot. But when it came down to it, AI was laying it down for Brown on the court. But there was no question of the day his dedication level to Brown and what Brown was trying to do there, right? But
their disagreements were their disagreements. But the one thing that they didn't disagree on was that Coach Brown knew Allen was going to play hard.
Yep.
And AI knew Coach Brown was going to coach hard.
Yep.
That if you ever see about anything that they ever talked about, that was never in question.
No, yeah, it was mutual.
And it was never in question from teammates. So the issues that they had was almost like personal, that didn't, be honest with you, didn't impact the team whatsoever.
Because when it came down to it, the basketball part was mutual. And that wasn't
the basketball part was almost the escape.
Yeah. Yeah. Whereas it's not the case here. Yeah. Like that's a major part of the problem. So it's like, I don't think it is a personal thing with Durant and Nash. I think they would have fun having a cup of coffee together. I think it is the basketball part that they don't agree on mostly. So it's a weird situation to have. It's not a personal.
It'll be interesting. Let's see how they play.
Yeah. It's, man.
Moral of the story: Brooklyn Nets giant question mark going into this. So that's
yeah. You got to tag a lot of Brooklyn fans in this.
That's how they get to be number 6 on my list.
Instead
of number 1.
way to wrap it all in together.
Yep.